BubbleNet is a meditative multiplayer solo game for 1 to many players. The box comes with enough for 4 people to play, but you can add player kits for as many players as you like, and you can all share the same pack of cards. BubbleNet is based on a real phenomenon that happens with humpback whales in the wild. Humpback whales generally hunt by a method called lunge fishing. What that means is they see a school of fish and they lunge at them and take a chomp, and it's not terribly efficient. Some of these whales, normally solitary by nature, have learnt to work together in a pod to hunt. One whale takes a big deep breath and goes down below the fish, coming up blowing a spiral of bubbles that surround the fish. These bubbles act like mirrors, making them feel confused and causing them to huddle together with their friends for safety. Meanwhile, the other whales in the pod are circling around and encouraging the fish to bunch together further. When the fish, surrounded by glistening bubbles and scary shadows, have packed together tightly into a nice fish ball, and the moment is right, the whales lunge from the depths up the center of the spiral for their tasty fish-filled big bite. Whales need a lot of food to survive, so they spend a lot of their time hunting, but they need to be as efficient as possible about it. The aim of BubbleNet is for each player to create a fishbowl on their own board as quickly as possible. Take that big bite and end up with more fish in your belly than have escaped to sea. Setup. Give each player a board, 5 bubbles, 2 podmates, and 24 fish. Place the bubbles on the starting bubble spots to the northwest. Place the fish tokens on the fish positions, every other position in the inner spiral and every position in the outer spiral. Shuffle the deck of fish cards and place it between the players where everyone can see and reach. That's it, you're ready to play BubbleNet. How to play. A round consists of 3 actions. All players take the first 2 actions simultaneously in their own time, then wait to complete the 3rd action together. First, blow a new bubble in your spiral. Select the bubble at the back of the row of bubbles and move it to the first unoccupied bubble spot. This represents the movement of the first whale, that's you, going around the outside of the fish, adding new bubbles to the net as the old ones reach the surface and pop. When a new bubble appears in a segment, the fish, surprised and scared, move away from the bubble. Move any fish in that segment inward by 1 fish position. Outer spiral fish move to the inner spiral, and inner spiral fish move to the center and off to your belly, ready to be lunge. Second, move your podmates. These are the other 2 whales in your pod, who are here to help you create that big bite of fish. The podmates have 2 different ways to function. They can either hold or herd. Herd functions exactly like a bubble. When a podmate herds in a segment, they push the fish inwards by 1 fish position. When either a bubble or a podmate is blocking a segment, they prevent the fish in that segment from fleeing. When you place the podmate in the hold position, they not only prevent the fish from their own segment from escaping, but also from the 2 adjacent segments. They don't push any fish inwards though, because they're just patrolling around the outside of the spiral. Why does this matter? Because the 3rd thing that happens is the fish respond to all this bubble blowing, herding and holding by trying to escape. Once everyone has moved their bubbles and podmates, it's fish time. Flip over the top fish card to find out how the fish respond for all players. Each fish card shows a group of fish trying to escape. The segments on the card match the segments on your board, labelled with the points of the compass. For each segment with an escaping fish, check if there is 1. A bubble, or 2. A podmate blocking that segment, or a holding podmate in an adjacent segment. If that's the case, the fish on your board don't move at all. If there's nothing blocking their escape, then the fish move outward by 1 position. If that means that they've moved beyond the outer spiral of bubbles, they're off to freedom and they can be lunch another day. And that's how you play a round of BubbleNet. Continue playing, blowing fresh bubbles, moving podmates, and seeing how the fish respond until you or one of the other players has achieved the end condition, the fishbowl. The end of the game. After the fish have responded, if you have all of the fish on your board inside the inner spiral, that's this area here, you have created the fishbowl. You are ready to end the game and take your big bite. So what's a big bite? Once any player has successfully created a fishbowl, they get to take a big chomp of all the fish that are left in the middle of their board. This means they grab all their remaining fish at once and move them into their belly. Any other players with fish not in their inner spiral at big bite time lose those fish to freedom. In other words, any fish in the outer spiral swim away to safety because they've been scared away by all these whales lunging up to chomp fish. Once the outer spiral fish have swum away to freedom, all remaining players get to chomp their fish ball in their own big bite and put those fish in their belly. Scoring. So now that we've reached the end of the game, how do you score? Well, if you have more fish in your belly than have escaped out to freedom, then you've won BubbleNet. Blook.